This is the Dodgers Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Los Angeles Dodgers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What is up? Hello and welcome to the Locked On Dodgers Postcast on the Locked On Dodgers YouTube channel. Place to hang out when every game is done. I am Pete Fox, covering sports in LA, dating back to 2007 for ESPN LA and NBC Sports Radio. Tonight's episode of the Locked On Dodgers Postcast is brought to you by Gametime. You know I'm a big fan of Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. All right, let's get to the most important parts of the show right off the bat, right out of the gate. All right, Dodgers win, of course. That's awesome. We'll talk about that for the remainder of this 15 to 20 minutes. But before we get to that, I want to make one thing clear. This is a Dodgers hat. I am wearing a Dodgers hat right now, not a Dallas Cowboys hat. Just to make that clear for all you guys and all the jokes about, since when are you a Cowboys fan? Why are you wearing a Cowboys hat in the Dodgers postcast? It's not a Dodger. It's not a Cowboys hat. It's a Dodgers hat. It's an alternate cap. It was funny the first few times. Nando, I think, was the first one to do it. Maybe Roy, but I'm still getting it all the time. I'm kind of tired of it. It's not a Cowboys hat. It is different. If you look at the Cowboys D and this D, it's different. I don't think they ever wore it on the field. That's funny, Roy. Go Cowboys. I think it was preseason potentially, or just something that was cool and different, you know? I think it was even before they did the City Connect stuff. It's kind of similar to that. I just like it, you know? Anyway, it's one of my favorites. And it was good luck today as the Dodgers took care of business rather comfortably once they got things rolling. You know, that's something we've been looking for, some offensive consistency, and they got some of it tonight. It wasn't dominant, but it was some rallies. You know, they put hits together, scored some runs. They had a couple of big innings. You know, that is a huge step in the right direction. It's not a butt whooping. It wasn't like they worked Scherzer over. He had him pretty stymied there for a good portion of the first 5 or 6 innings that he was in there. They started with 2 hits and then went 1 for 11 before Teo squeaked one past Bichette into center field for an infield base hit there. But the big inning that was the most impactful part of this game.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
Yeah, turning point of this game was when Shohei Ohtani doubled and kind of gave a bit of a reprieve to Andy Pages in the 5th inning after a base running blunder there. So this is how the inning broke down. Andy Pages led off with a single. Freeland popped up high into the air, a moonshot that was caught by Vlad Guerrero Jr. closer to home plate than first base. But Pages had his head down, running to second, and wasn't paying attention. Got all the way there, stood there for a couple of seconds, and then realized that Guerrero had caught the ball. Guerrero had no idea. Pages turned around and started hauling butt back to first base, but it was too little too late because Guerrero was like, oh, and he just kind of flicked it over there at the last second. I mean, Pages was probably 3 feet away, and he still nailed him. So that was a potential blunder that could have cost the Dodgers. It did ultimately cost them a run, but it didn't cost them the game or anything like that. Ohtani then came up and hit a ground rule double, and then Mookie, first pitch swinging, yanked one to left field into the pavilion, his 12th homer, 389 feet. That made it 2-1, his first home run since July 5th. Yes, definitely the turning point of the game right there.
This is what you'll be talking about.
Nice game one win against a tough team, top team in the American League East, the Toronto Blue Jays, and a nice win against a future Hall of Famer in Max Scherzer. And just a fun game to watch, I think, based on the fact that these are two guys that know each other. They were drafted the same year. They were teammates for 1 year in Dodger Blue 2021, although I thought it was interesting that, not interesting. It's completely understandable that Joe and Oral did not get into how Max Scherzer's season ended with the Dodgers that year. It started off very good. 7-0 with a sub-2 ERA, like 1.9, if not lower. But then let's not forget that Max Scherzer decided to not pitch in the postseason, opted out, just said, nah, I'm good. I don't think I want to pitch in this one. I don't feel up to it, or something like that. That was just a flimsy, weak excuse. So yeah, Dodger fans aren't the biggest Max Scherzer fans, but it was a nice battle between two future Hall of Famers, two guys with over 3,000 Ks. I had forgotten that Scherzer got his 3,000th strikeout in Dodger Blue. But those guys were battling, back and forth. It was tight. While they were both on the mound, Scherzer went 6, gave up 2 runs while striking out 5 on 6 hits with 3 walks. Kershaw did what Kershaw does, just kind of walks that line as tightly as he can. 6 innings, 7 hits, just 1 run, 4 Ks, and 1 walk. So when you look at the line, I would give the nod to Kershaw. It was a little bit better of a line than Scherzer had, thanks to Mookie Betts hitting that home run in the 5th. Mookie Betts, a big game. Shohei Ohtani, a big game. So who do we give player of the game to? Oh, I don't know. We're going to have to take the break and think about it. It is the Locked On Dodgers postcast on the Locked On Dodgers YouTube channel, the place to hang out when every game is done. We appreciate you allowing us to be your source for your team every day. Tonight's episode of the Locked On Dodgers postcast is brought to you by Gametime. Have you ever decided last minute to head to the ball game with friends or family? Maybe it's game day. Like tomorrow, we got Chargers and New Orleans. I think that one's at SoFi. You could right now be sitting there going, really? That might be fun to go check out a preseason game. Quite frequently, more often than not, you could save some money going to a preseason football game if you've never been to SoFi, for example, and you want to just check it out. Well, that would be a good time to go to Gametime. It's the easiest way to grab last-minute tickets without the stress. With the money you save on tickets, you could splurge on food, cover some of that exorbitant parking over there at SoFi, get some merch, or even invite a bigger group to come with you. Gametime makes it all possible. Gametime makes buying tickets fast and simple. Prices on the app actually drop as you get closer to the start of the game. And then you've got incredible last-minute deals, clear seat views, and a low price guarantee that takes the worry out of buying. They also have on Gametime zone deals, which gives you the best deal in said zone. And then with the views from the seat, you can kind of see exactly where you are and think, well, if these tickets right here are X amount of dollars, maybe if I go one section over, I might save a little bit. And you can see how good or bad the seats might be from over there. So one of the many great features about Gametime. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONMLB. That's LOCKEDONMLB, and you get $20 off. That's $20 off your first purchase. Download the Gametime app today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. Tonight's episode also brought to you by Prize Picks, the daily fantasy platform that lets you turn your football predictions into real rewards. Preseason is already heating up and college football isn't far behind. It's the perfect time to look in your season-long more or less picks for the 2025 season, all before week 1 kicks off. Yes, start paying attention to that right now. Whether you've got your eye on big-name quarterbacks or breakout running backs, Prize Picks makes it easy to get in the game. Download the Gametime and Prize Pick apps today and use the code LOCKEDONMLB to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONMLB at Prize Picks to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5. Prize Picks, run your game. All right, Dodgers with a 5-1 win, beating the first place Blue Jays and more importantly, beating Max Scherzer. Jeff Roll has a comment about Pages. He got doubled off on a pop-up, or we would have scored one more. Yes, indeed. Yeah. It's one of those things that you just get with Andy Pages, right? You take the good with the bad. I mean, I don't expect him to be perfect, but I feel like he has a few more of these bonehead plays than other guys do. I always find it interesting that when he does one of those, you can bet that Teo is standing right next to him because Teo said something about that. You got to pay attention to the ball. Run with your head up, right? You can't head down running to second base. You got to know what's going on. It's just simple baseball. It's basic, little league stuff. Got to pay attention to the ball, right? So fortunately, it didn't hurt them, but it can, and it has. It will. I think we just have to accept it and hope that as Andy Pages becomes more mature, those type of things won't happen as frequently. All right, let's do player of the game.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
Well, we got to give it to Shohei, right? 3 hits today, 2 runs scored, no RBI, but he had a double, single in the first to lead off the game. He and Mookie both had singles in the first inning, and then Scherzer proceeded to get the next 11 Dodgers out after that. But nice way to start the game. And then he squeaked one through the infield, which was just a lucky bounce in favor of Shohei. But 3 hits, first time he's done that. 3 hits in a game since June 15th. So let's hope that guy's getting on a roll and starting to find some rhythm. We can also feel good about Mookie Betts' performance today. Honorable mention for player of the game. Yeah, like you guys were really surprised about which way I was going to go with who gets player of the game and then who gets honorable mention. But those guys had 5 of the Dodgers' 7 hits tonight. So Teo had the other one, and Pages had one. So Freddie was 0 for, but walked twice. Will Smith had an RBI on a bases-loaded walk. Hey, we'll take the runs any way we can get them, right? So it wasn't like a complete offensive explosion. But what we saw was the Dodgers mounting rallies. Again in the 5th, this is how it went. Pages led off with a single. Freeland popped up. Then Pages got doubled up because he wasn't paying attention. But Shohei doubled, ground rule double, and then Mookie went deep to left field, 389 feet for his 12th. And then in the 7th, walks on 4 pitches to Ohtani and Freddie Freeman. Then Mookie, a fielder's choice to short. Freeland scored on that play on a fantastically, luck's not the right word. It's just the timing worked out for the Dodgers because Bichette made a spectacular play there. The infield was in. Mookie hit the bounding ball to Bichette's right. He fielded the ball and kind of did a 180 whirling dervish heave towards home plate and somehow got it to the catcher, who swiped a tag on Freeland, who just got his fingers in there to score the run, which made it 3-1. Freddie walked, as I said, and then Will Smith walked. That made it 4-1. And then Teo hit the sac fly to make it 5-1. And then the bullpen came in and took over, which was also a super positive, exciting, happy thing to see about this game. We weren't ever kind of biting our nails like, tying run is in the on deck circle, or tying run is at the plate. Bonda had a bit of a shaky outing, loaded the bases 2/3 of an inning, only gave up 1 hit, struck out 1 on 17 pitches. But for those of you that are Dave Roberts haters, and we haven't seen any in a while, the Fire Dave Roberts crew is really kind of calm lately, surprisingly, through this stretch where things haven't been going great for the Dodgers, especially offensively. And we haven't had a whole lot of Fire Dave Roberts, which is, maybe you guys are maturing and growing up as well. But Roberts, Doc came in and got Bonda, said, that's it, you're done. And brought in Kasparius, who ended the threat on 2 pitches. And Orel kind of predicted this. He's like, if we could get 6 out of the starter, which they got from Kershaw, you only need 3 guys, really. Sometimes you can get 2 if they can go a couple of innings. And Kasperius worked in 2 frames. He got a third of an inning in the 7th, and then got the 8th on 17 pitches, 1 hit, 2 Ks, his 10th hold, and then Trinan came in for the save on 14 pitches. He gave up a hit as well. The rest 0. So as far as the bullpen goes, spotless. And that's nice to see as well. One of the other things that came up a couple of nights ago that we didn't get to, which was a fantastic point, I wanted to mention it tonight. I didn't think it would be an issue, but it was in the rubber game of that series against the Cards. Max Muncy absolutely should have been in that game, should have started that game. I'm not going to say that's why they lost, but him not playing in that game, the rubber game against the Cards, did not help them. They needed him in there, right? He came in as a pinch hitter and walked. So had some sort of an impact, even though he wasn't in there for very long. Hate to argue with you, Mixel Felix. Kershaw, that's a question mark. No, Kersh went 6, not 5, which is much better than 5. 6 is way better, right? They also brought up an interesting point that both Joe and Oro feel like it's quite possible that Kershaw could be the last pitcher for quite a while anyway to reach the 3,000 strikeout mark, because these guys go 5 and 6 innings, and that's considered successful. That's considered positive. That's good enough. So the Chris Sale, I think he's in Atlanta now, is the next closest guy to 3,000, and he's got like 2,500, and he's like 49 years old or something. So I don't believe that he's going to get there. So it'll be interesting to see as we watch baseball into the future if anybody mounts a charge for 3,000. And then you think about Nolan Ryan, 5,000 plus strikeouts. If you guys have not watched the Nolan Ryan documentary on whatever it's on, Netflix, HBO, I don't even know. I've watched it. It's fantastic. That dude played for like 26 years. I mean, he was so omnipresent in baseball for so long. We just took it for granted. When you hear that, 26 years as a professional athlete in general, forget about the sport. 26 years, it's insane. So he seems like a really cool dude. So it's a very down-to-earth, very regular guy. So if you're a big baseball fan, you don't have to be a big Nolan Ryan fan to enjoy that documentary. It is fantastic. As was tonight's win, 5-1 for the Dodgers to take game 1 of this 3-game set against the Toronto Blue Jays. Dodgers now 67-49, while the Jays are 1 game better, 68-49. And with a Padres loss, unless they rallied, they were down 8-2 late in the game at Petco against the Boston Red Sox. This now gives the Dodgers a 3-game advantage in the West. Yeah, 10-2 the final as they lose there to the Bo Sox. Back at it tomorrow. First pitch is a little after 6, an hour earlier than tonight. I believe Blake Schnell will get the start, and he'll take on Chris Bassett. Again, first pitch, 6:10. Dodgers win prediction is at 65%. So let's hope that is true. Let's hope we get a sweep here. Wouldn't that be nice against a really good team? Oh, be awesome. All right. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Appreciate the comments. As always, I am Pete Fox. It is the Locked On Dodgers postcast. We come on after every game with instant reaction. We'll do, don't forget, we'll do a Chargers squad show tomorrow, as they're taking on the New Orleans Saints. That game starts at 1, and then we'll be here for the Dodgers right afterwards in the evening. So full day for me watching sports. Oh, my life is so rough. But don't forget to check out the Locked On Daily Dodgers podcast Monday through Friday with Travis Rogers right here on the Locked On Dodgers YouTube channel. Have a good night, everybody. Take care. We'll talk tomorrow.